Challenges I welcome because it is in their sheer indulgence I acknowledge this extraordinary gift called life. Everything is a matter of perspective, and transformation is the law of life. I embraced my first transformation through a realization of self very early in my life. This taught me acceptance and contentment, and this helped me rejuvenate myself. One question has followed me for years. Friends, colleagues, students, and even strangers have asked me, how did you make so many pivots in your life? How did you know when to move, when to rest, when to risk, and when to restart? My answer surprises me. It's not the world's advice, not the loudest voice in the room, and not the safest option. My compass has always been my gut. Advice is loud. Advice scatters. Instinct whispers. Instinct centers. But let me tell you one thing. Listening to your gut does not mean disrespecting other voices. It means listening to your own voice after the noise settles. Sometimes people say they don't hear their gut. I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely true because when you're young, you realize that instinct is rarely loud. It becomes clearer only with effort, silence, reflection, and lived experience. This talk is about all those beautiful whispers, the ones that help you move, stay, risk, and restart. My life and my career has definitely taken a very, very unorthodox path. For the next 15 minutes, I would want you to travel along with me in this beautiful journey of mine. We'll reflect together on the decisions that have shaped my life, all because I've had the courage to listen to that tiny voice within me. So here's my journey. It began with a dream that may be very, very small today, earning my first flight ticket. For the world, it means travel. But for me, it meant opening door to immense possibilities. Let me take you back to the year 1995 when I was working at a computer educational company. All I had to do was counsel the walk ins and enroll them into various courses. Imagine I was working with the fervor of a 20-year-old, sleepless nights, countless conversations, and the urge to prove myself. My mentor had set a target of 50 enrollments. But we definitely outdid that. We reached 70 in the afternoon, and towards the evening, it was 90. And that's when my mentor said, listen, if you touch 100, I'll get you your two tickets to Bangalore. Cups of coffee doubled by late in the evening, frantic calls from the home, of course, and my team members somehow managed to achieve, along with me, 97. And that's when we decided three more is going to be next to impossible. It's definitely not going to be possible. My friend said, let's call it quits and let's go home. But my instinct, my whisper said, no, don't leave. Guess what happened? Four enrollments and two tickets to Bangalore. The next morning, as I held my flight tickets, tears rolled down. It wasn't about the flight ticket, it was about the truth that your gut whispers long before success shouts. The next part of my pivot came wrapped in stillness. Marriage took me to a very, very small town where ambition slows and life softens. My world shrank. Opportunities were extremely limited, but my heart expanded. I gave birth to two children, my beautiful twins, and that became the purpose of my life. Even then, there was the small voice within me that told, it is just a pause, it's not a stop. With the unwavering support of my husband, I resumed my career. I returned to academia, became a professor in a reputed private university, and rediscovered my passion for teaching and learning. Now, when I joined the university after my career break, I carried a quite complex with me. I had those peers who were much younger, smarter, and better with technology. Just because there was a pause in my life didn't mean that they stopped climbing, did they? Doubts and insecurities completely loomed in me when I entered a classroom where the students were definitely faster, they moved faster, and probably expected a little more better from me. Returning felt like I was merging into a fast moving traffic after years and years of stillness. There was this constant noise in my head that kept whispering, did life outpace me? I overthought every lecture. I overthought every conversation. Even if I did do something good, I felt I wasn't good enough. Guess who made the appearance again? That tiny whisper, a steady tug that felt calm, grounded, and consistent. Here's it. If it feels like there are 17 tabs open, it's like you're overthinking. But if there's just one clean line that stays the way, no matter how much you think, then you know very clearly it's your gut talking. It made me realize very quickly that I have to stand tall again. I rebuilt my strength. I started from scratch. I learned. I taught the students. In the evening, again, I conducted classes. Slowly and steadily, I stitched my way back into the academic world. Every doubt that I carried, I walked through. The place that once I felt very shaky about became the place of confidence. And finally, and eventually, because of my unlearning and relearning, I became a PhD scholar. Imagine at the age of 44, just to prove one thing, I was not a scholar chasing a title, but a small woman who just believed in that a pause in life doesn't mean a full stop. The next chapter of my transformation comes from a place of painful honesty. Imagine you walking and sitting through a movie you're thoroughly excited about, only to realize halfway through that it's definitely not worth it. But you have invested so much of money in buying the ticket, buying popcorn, and sponsoring your friend's ticket as well. That's exactly how I encountered sunk cost fallacy in my entrepreneurial journey. At Vellore, I established the Center for Career Development. It was so exciting. I had the best of the best coming in to inaugurate my center. My husband gave immense finance. Infrastructure was beautiful. I had excellent faculty. But something went wrong. First time my gut failed me. The courses that I designed was definitely not suited for that particular town. Enrollment dropped. Finances drained. One day when I was sitting there, I asked a question to myself. Are you continuing because you're passionate about it? Or are you continuing because you've invested so much? And that's when I realized that your gut can also glitch. It was the gut, it was my instinct that told me to start, but it was my ego that told me to persist. But then eventually, it was my wisdom that told me it's better to exit. That's when life presented itself with this unexpected opportunity to be the head of the department of life skills at Bangalore. Everything felt uncertain. There were two things that was definitely not possible. A, should I be leaving Vellore? Should I be leaving my husband? And number two, having a life in Vellore and having a parallel life in Bangalore was definitely difficult. And emotionally maintaining both these lives running in parallel was too difficult. So I was in this particular crossroads, not knowing what to do. A gut which was not perfect. Should I follow that? Or should I just quit and be satisfied? Was I doing something right or wrong? Learning to trust your gut again when it has actually led you astray feels very shaky. It's like walking on a bridge that you're not sure that will hold your weight. But instinct is rarely logical. It is definitely honest. My gut whispered. My gut whispered to me, enough. Just go recover your losses. Please go ahead. So, against every piece of advice, against comfort, against convenience, I quickly moved from Vellore to Bangalore. Imagine the scene at Bangalore. When I joined Bangalore in the Life Skill Center, my role was not valued yet. I was surrounded by doubt. I was surrounded by resistance. I was surrounded by raised eyebrows. But my work spoke for itself. I built the center from piece to piece, got the curriculum established. The outcome spoke itself because of the student engagement. For all the faculty, there it's the NAC and the NBA that came in, and the complete spotlight was focused on the small center that gradually grew. Life skills shifted from margins to marquee. What began as a true hesitation became a place of admiration. And that's when I realized your instinct will take you through storms, but remember, definitely it lead you to clarity. After developing the center, almost 8 years later, I became the director for the Center of Life Skills. I'm sure it's a moment to be extremely happy about. But what did it entail? More and more of administrative work, more and more supervision, more and more checking if the schedules are going on time, and less of interaction with students, less and less interaction with faculty members. That's when I actually understood the meaning of this beautiful term called necrosis, not as a term in pathology, as that of a feeling. It's a quiet death that happens when the flow stops. In the body, it's blood, but in life, it's purpose. My dreams did not collapse suddenly. They just dimmed slowly and surely, the way cells die if there is no nourishment. On paper, I had everything: director, passion, purpose, influence, and probably the money as well, the entire checklist. But what was missing? There was a vacuum inside me. Something felt very hollow. Something in my part was going very, very numb. I was not living my full life. That's when the gut whispered, "Your chapter is complete here." Everyone said I was making a mistake to leave when you had such a beautiful position. But obviously, all of us know that instinct is not a committee decision. Is it a committee decision? No. I walked away not as an escape, but as an evolution. Here's the miracle. When I stepped out, I felt suddenly the blood has flowed again. Courage returned. Listening to yourself, listening to one's instinct is not passive, it's an act of leadership. Remember, your gut is intelligent, your gut is not emotional. I wanted to create an impact on the ground. I wanted to be with people, and I wanted to bring in a change in the lives of people whom I interacted. And here, at this juncture, I would like to share a very, very, very personal anecdote, very close to my heart. Years after teaching this blind student, I walk into the marriage hall, not expecting the bridegroom was visually impaired to recognize me. To everyone's surprise, he said, "This is the teacher who taught me English to clear the law course." I went back to the time when I actually taught him. My instinct told me, please treat him like a regular student. Don't give him any privileges. Don't let him down. Don't let your standard below bar. I continued to do my duty. And today, to my utter surprise, he announces he's a leading advocate in Chennai. This is what I want to tell all of you. The outcomes of your instinct might definitely be delayed. It'll be very, very slow. But remember, it is worth the wait. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. Looking back now, every part of my life has been sharpened: the way I think, the way I read, the way I stand up, and the way I show for others. But underneath all of these shifts, there is one silent gut that kept nudging me forward. Even when my life was extremely scattered, this instinct kept telling me, please move on. It kept pushing me slowly and stubbornly. Every experience of mine became a dot, and my instinct was the thread that stitched all these dots together. It drew a map for me that I don't even know that I was following. It wasn't logic that connected my journey. It wasn't planning, of course. It was my inner voice, brave and persistent, telling me long before I understood where it was taking me. All of you have been listening to me for the last couple of minutes. You have gone through with me my pivots, my pauses, my risks, and my restarts. So, before I leave you, I would like to distill my journey into three simple truths that I want you to carry as lessons, which I learned the hard way. Lesson number one: every experience, please treat it like a dot. Experiences could be pointless, experiences could be painful, experiences could be bad mistakes as well. Doesn't matter. Make sure that all these dots will definitely connect sometime. Number two: Your gut may also glitch like the way it did for me. Doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to your gut again. Listen to it after a small pause. Listen to it after you calibrate, but listen to it firmly because it doesn't promise a smooth journey, but definitely a meaningful destination. The last one, very crucial and very important for all of us. Following your instinct is not acting on impulse. Instinct and impulse are very different. Impulse is reckless. I never acted recklessly. I always followed my instinct, and only after pause and deliberation and reflection did I actually make my decisions. Instinct shouts. No, instinct is very soft. It is only your impulse which shouts and it scatters. So I would like to leave you with this. Listen to your voice. Listen to your voice without ego. Listen to your voice without fear. And always remember, instinct will not speak loudly, but it definitely will be honest. It will keep holding the door for you. The rest is on you. One thing I learned from my life through instinct is it always says, live in the present. Don't worry about the past. Don't think about the future. And there is this Indian thought, the reflection that I've always carried from my childhood. And it goes like this: for yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow only a vision. But today, well lived, makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. So look well for this day, such is the salutation of dawn. Thank you for listening.